Oh, hi there. Um, Welcome to Wandering Minds, Week 2. This is Caleb Turmel with the Kellin Foundation. And today I'm going to talk about how to deal with distraction. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate just folks that are tuning in. My name is Caleb. Like I said, I'm a therapist and I've been practicing counseling and therapy for several years now. And one of the techniques that I like to use with all of my clients is teaching mindfulness. So, like I said, we're going to talk about how to deal with distraction when you're practicing a mindfulness exercise. Um, as I said last week, this is going to be a weekly series, and I think distraction is one of the topics that will probably come up very consistently. Thanks, Crystal. I see your comment. I hope this is helpful for you. Um, and as we go, please comment below if you have any questions or comments. I'd love to hear them. And if I don't answer your questions during this live activity, then I will certainly answer them in the chats later on. So please, like I said, feel free to comment below, and I will try to answer those questions if you have any later on. So when we're talking about distraction when you're practicing mindfulness, first I felt like it might be helpful to just define what mindfulness is. Or define what distraction is. So distraction is any time that we are trying to focus on something and something catches our attention. So that could be maybe we're hungry, thinking about lunch. Maybe we are thinking about what we're going to do the rest of the day. Maybe we're just daydreaming and thinking about being on the beach somewhere, or going hiking, or spending time with your family, or seeing a best friend. So distraction is anything that kind of takes us out of the present moment. And how do we deal with that when we're practicing mindfulness? In some of the reading, and last week actually, I talked about how when we get distracted, that's just our body's response to trying to keep us safe. And that actually is not true. So I did some reading this week, and it's not only a defense mechanism, but it's also just when we get distracted, it's something that might just be interesting to us. And maybe that's the anxiety that we're feeling in the moment that's causing us some interest. Maybe it's our hunger, maybe it's wanting to connect with someone. And all of these things are normal. Like I said last week as well, no one is necessarily good at mindfulness. No one's going to become an expert at this. Because mindfulness is something that takes time and it takes practice, and distraction is normal. So what are four things that we can do to help deal with distraction? So number one, I said notice what it is that distracted you. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe I've already listed a couple other things that might distract us. But the first thing is just to notice what it is that might have gotten your attention. That doesn't mean you have to do anything with it, right? So, like I noticed, maybe I'm really thirsty. I need to go get some water. No, you don't. Like, you can wait a little bit longer while you're practicing this exercise. But the important thing first is just to notice that you've become distracted. And then the second thing is to be kind to yourself. So once you have noticed that you're distracted, don't get frustrated. It's normal for us to react with distraction when we are trying to sit and be focused in the present. So don't get frustrated with yourself, and be kind to your mind and to your body as you maybe some things caught your attention. Number three is gently bring yourself back to focusing on the moment. So gently bring yourself back to your breath and to what's going on around you. And that can be done in a lot of different ways. What I like to do is just to try to bring my consciousness back to my breathing. Maybe it's noticing a sound or noticing your body, and letting yourself kind of come back to the present moment. And do that gently. Don't berate yourself or get upset with yourself, but gently just, okay, I noticed that I got distracted. I started thinking about reading this book that I'm really liking, and I'm going to come back to this moment and notice my breath, notice what's going on in my body, and just be present. Number four, if you do get upset with yourself, don't judge your judging, right? So that's kind of a funny phrase and a funny thing to say, but when we catch ourselves being distracted, we might feel upset with ourselves. And that's also okay, right? That's a normal response. And don't let that get into a downward spiral, right? So you might notice that you're getting distracted, you might get upset with yourself, and then you might go, "Oh my gosh, Caleb said don't get upset with, or don't be kind to myself. Caleb said to be kind to myself, and I'm getting upset with myself. Gosh, I can't believe I'm doing that." So we're judging the fact that we've already judged ourselves, and that's not really a helpful pattern, right? So as we're practicing mindfulness, we want to let ourselves come back to the present moment kindly and gently. And if we do get upset, that's okay. That's part of the process, and it's part of the learning experience. So today, as we practice some breathing together, I'd like to just encourage you to notice when your mind wanders. And that's not even a question of if, right? It's not like, well, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just be in the present the whole time. That's not really realistic. We're going to get distracted. So today, as we're practicing this, I'd like to just encourage you to practice those 4 things. So notice when you get distracted, gently, being kind to yourself, and then bring yourself back to the present moment. And don't judge your judging if you do decide to get upset. So as we practice this, keep those things in mind, and we'll see how it goes. So if you're ready, I'd like you to just put your feet flat on the ground and put your hands on your lap or somewhere else that's comfortable. Make sure you have a neutral spine and plenty of space for your lungs to expand and contract. And let your gaze kind of soften. You don't have to necessarily focus on what's right in front of you or the screen. Maybe look out the window, or just don't really look at anything and let your gaze relax. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Notice your shoulders, and as you inhale and exhale, let your shoulders relax and creep down your spine. I'd like you to, as we practiced last week, just count to 4 as you inhale, and then count to 8 as you exhale. Continue to practice just counting your breath. And as you do that, notice, do I get distracted? What is it that's distracting me right now? When you notice that distraction, gently bringing yourself back to just focusing on counting to 4 as you inhale and counting to 8 as you exhale. Continue to breathe. And maybe at this point you've gotten distracted a second time and started thinking about the afternoon or this evening, or maybe something that's bringing you some anxiety. Gently bringing yourself back to the present, just being inside your body right now. And as you inhale and exhale, I'd like you to do a short body scan. So starting from your head all the way down to your toes. Just notice your body. Notice any tension in your body. Notice any stress that you may be feeling. Notice where your body feels relaxed. And as you inhale and then exhale, allow your tension and stress to leave your body. And as those distractions continue to come up, gently just bring yourself back to the present moment, noticing your breath, maybe counting your breath, noticing your feet on the floor, noticing how your body feels right now. Notice each moment as it passes, focusing on what's going on right now inside your body. Take another deep breath in and exhale slowly. And when you're ready, you can shift your focus back to the present and maybe blink your eyes a little bit if you had your eyes closed, and come back to kind of the end of the practice. So thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope this was helpful for you. Please comment below with any questions that you may have about mindfulness and how to deal with distractions. So I think it's a really helpful thing to talk about, and would love to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you guys for checking in today, and I will see you guys next week.